Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is a session that's part of our Star Wars special event. Rich Rogers, Greg Gelder, and a number of others have kind of boosted this up over the last several years. It's a weekend covering various games of various RPGs set in the Star Wars universe. I remember playing a game of Jason Morningstar's The Skeletons called The Droids, in which we were droids locked in a vault and checking in with them over the ages. It was great. We are playing Thirsty Sword Nightsisters. I'm going to talk about what that means in a second in terms of concept, but I just wanted to put that out there. And we're going to be doing a one-shot and seeing where we get with this story. I've got a premise. We're going to build characters and so on, but let me get to our cats here. So cats means I'm going to talk about what the concept is, how we're going to be playing it, our tone, and then safety. So I'm reading a little bit from what I presented to the players just to kind of get this on record. So in the canon of Star Wars, there's an ancient matriarchal order called the Nightsisters that ruled over this planet of Dathomir. They kept it tightly under control. They didn't really have a sense of dark versus light, but they had these powers that was neither Sith nor Jedi. And they ruled over the men, the Night Brothers, and the race is called the Zabrak, and there are a couple other Dathomiri versus Zabrak. I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, what occurred is that during the whole Clone Wars Imperial period, sort of the first trilogy and then the second trilogy, however you would say that, the Nightsisters got into it with Count Dooku and some of the other nasty people on the Empire. And as a result, they were wiped out. There were a number of witch clans that existed, but they were destroyed, including the Nightsisters. There are a few survivors that you will see pop up in various video games, like the new Jedi Survivor has a Nightsister character in it. So what we take up is we're in canon sort of post the last trilogy here, the time of the New Republic, the return, what we saw in our various controversial recent Jedi films. In our setting, a Nightsister who had left returns back to Dathomir. She had been one of the few that had been off-world, and she had traveled, managed to survive in the midst of all the hostilities, and had come to a new understanding of the Force. And various failures amongst the various institutions led her to come back to Dathomir. And Dathomir had been populated by Nightsister ghosts, Force ghosts, things like that. Dathomir had a sinister reputation as a place of the dark side. But our sister returned back and wrestled with those ghosts and kind of brought them under control with the idea of founding a new order of Nightsisters dedicated to self-discovery, to exploration, to understanding, using some of the techniques from the old Nightsisters, but now trying to move away from the toxic aspects of that. And our PCs and the NPCs that are with them in this community of Nightsisters are some that were surviving Dathomiri, but others that came from other places that were drawn here. A voice spoke to them, or someone told them of it, or they were recruited. We'll figure that out when we're building characters, why they came here. So our characters can be of any species from the Star Wars universe. They can be whatever gender representation you want to have within this. Generally, the Nightsisters have been female identifying, but we don't have to do that with our particular take on it. We are open to our changes on that. The big sort of issue right now is that in our setting, that leader, Gento, has passed away. just recently, leaving questions about who is going to lead, what the direction is. And there are forces out there that are impinging on our Nightsisters gathering, our Nightsisters commune. First of all, the First Order and Night Brothers that have joined with them. There is an Imperial garrison on Dathomir who would certainly hunt down our Nightsisters. But on the other hand, we also have that not all of these Nightsister ghosts have been tamed, and they offer power and advice and wisdom and try to lure people over. They want to have control. They want to return to those old ways. So those are our two, in Thirsty Sword Lesbian terms, toxic powers that we have in existence. So that's kind of the struggle that we're working with. And we've got some of that in our character keeper with definitions of these things. But that's the concept. And our approach, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making up characters. And that is going to involve choosing playbooks, making some picks about stats, choosing some moves. There are a set of personal questions that come with each Thirsty Sword Lesbian playbook that have some interesting things. Once all of that is settled, we'll do introductions, and then we'll do relationships. There are relationship questions where you'll kind of figure out how you connect to the others. And then we'll have the opportunity, when you've done that, to set strings, which is our kind of currency of interaction and relationship. And you'll be able to set those from 0 to 2, I believe, on that. The other thing I want to mention about this in terms of play structure is 3 to 4 hours. We're going to be taking at least 2 breaks. Because this is a one-shot, it takes 3 XP. XP is normally on a miss. 3 XP to get an advance. So that's the basic thing. Once we've got kind of characters figured out, and I'm hoping we're going to have that in that first hour and 15. We'll see where we get to. After that, we'll kind of get our inciting incident and get rolling here. So with that in mind, our aim, our approach, I'm going to talk about tone. This is Star Wars, but very much through the lens of Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Through wuxia, it is a question of characters who are involved with dark temptation, questions who are involved with redemption, but it is not necessarily a dark version. We've seen a lot of darkness in Star Wars stuff, and this is maybe finding a path out of that. I talk a little bit about that in the player's agenda that I think kind of reflects the tone. That TSL gives 4 pieces of agenda. Bring the action, feel deeply and powerfully and often, be excited for the other PCs and their shared stories, and stand for justice and liberation. So those are important play principles that we're working through today. Keeping that in mind, we will be using, and I know all of you are familiar with this, so but bear with me on my spiel. We are using a layered set of safety tools. We are using lines and veils as sort of a baseline marker. You'll find that on the safety tab. You can fill in the lines and veils or even wishes there on that tab. Lines, again, are hard lines. We do not want to see this at the table. It's not a topic we want to deal with. Veils being anything that even if we got reference to it, we're kind of seeing it off screen. We're not dwelling on it. We're not spending a lot of time on it. That's an important set of issues there. The wishes are just kind of if you want to make some notes either before or after the game on that. So lines and veil servers are baseline. Our second line is the X card. And the X card, you can say X card, or you can do this gesture. X card is used to mark material that you find objectionable, that you find problematic, that you find wildly off tone. And it can be about play style as well. If you find that something is getting intrusive, you can ask for a stop there. When you do the X card, you don't have to defend it. You don't have to explain it. The only question we might ask is, how far back do we need to cut? Where do you want us to go from? You are welcome to explain it. if you want, but please don't feel that you have to defend your choices in that at all. I think that's really, really important. That the other point I want to make about was like a place where we want to keep an eye out for the X card for use is if we're playing along and maybe we're starting to move towards something that we have hit as a line or a veil, and maybe we haven't caught it. That's a good point to stop and go to like kind of stop and X card there to have us pause and recalibrate. Thirsty Sword Lesbians calls that a check-in card. And I think that's a really good point to check in about something, to check in before we go somewhere, to confirm on it. We were playing Masks the other day, and there were some questions about the police and police, like how we were reading them in the context of the game. And we had to stop and we had a conversation about that. And I thought that was really good and really important. So that's another tool that we have available to us. The X card is also important if we've hit something that we probably should have put on a line or a veil. We're only now realizing it. So that is our second level. Our last piece of second to last tool that we have is the open door. If you need to leave, if you need to step away for whatever reason, personal, emotional, physical, whatever, you're welcome to leave. Just if you can tell us in the chat that you're going to be back, that's great. If you can't, don't worry about it. You never have to explain that choice to anyone. So just keep in mind that you have that freedom. You should never stay in a game that you are not enjoying. That is really important to me. The last thing I want to mention is we do have on that safety tab a romance permissions matrix. So you can put your name and whether you would be interested in romantic like stories, engagements with PCs, with NPCs, and then ask first. All of those can get checked. It's up to you. So I encourage you while we're doing character creation to look at that safety tab, add things to lines, veils, and wishes, and to the romance setup. So that is the basics. I have talked for a bit. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go around and check if people have looked at the playbooks and see what playbooks people might be interested in and get us settled on that. Don't be afraid to say, I really want to do this because you should. We'll get that set up and then I'll talk about where you need to go, what you need to do with that character creation. So Sandra, can I start with you?
Hey, Lo, a quick thing.
Sure.
Right now the character keeper is view only for me. Is that supposed to happen?
Yeah, same here.
Same here.
Locked it down.
Dang it. I hate that when I do that. Okay. Let me see. So let me get out.
Mike.
Let me get back in. Drive.
Then I think we have to reload.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get the share. Okay. That's such a old dumb mistake. I'm amused that I made that. All right. I'm gonna repaste the link in there. I believe it should be set so everybody can now modify things. Good?
Confirmed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good with
Thank you
me.
so much.
Yeah.
All right. So Sandra, can I start with you?
Yes.
What one you're thinking about, or if you've got a couple, you can say that.
Yeah, I think deciding which one is the hard part for me.
Mhm.
I'm interested in the bloody or maybe infamous nature witch or scoundrel. So 4
Okay.
things to choose from.
Okay. Well, that gives us a range. So that is fine because I'm going to come back to you in a moment
Yep.
once we've heard everybody else. Travis, what about you?
Yeah, I thank you. I'm not particularly fussed about one or the other. So any of them seem interesting to me, which I know isn't all that helpful in this situation.
Yeah. Can you narrow it down to like if we were to say, give me your three?
Yeah. The infamous, the trickster, and the Legion.
Me too. Okay. Mona, what about you?
Yeah, hold on, let me. I'm thinking either the chosen, the devoted, or the seeker.
And Tad, what about you?
I'm also thinking seeker or nature witch or chosen.
Okay. So I'm now going to take a deep breath and I'm going to come back to each of you in that same order that I just did. And I'm going to ask you to pick from the range of things that you have just said. Now, having heard what other folks are interested in, Sandra, if I were to come back to you, could you
Bloody.
could you bloody? Okay,
Bloody.
there we go. All right. So the bloody is there. Travis, what about you? You're muted.
Thank you, the trickster.
Trickster. So bloody, trickster, Mona.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm going to take devoted.
Okay. All right. So bloody, trickster, devoted. So you still have your full range of choices there, Tad. Which of those three do you
Yeah,
want?
I'm gonna go with seeker.
Seeker. Okay. So here is what you'll need to do. There's some picks for look that you can make. You'll pick one of those two stat lines that are listed, and then you'll add one to each of two different stats. Then you will look at your moves. You'll have some move or moves that are in there already. And then you're going to choose two more moves. Regardless of playbook, everybody gets two moves beyond what they start with. Those things, the truth of heart and blade, those are questions for smitten, so don't worry about those. The other thing that you'll want is below your moves, there are going to be some special things that you're going to need to make decisions about. Like, for example, the bloody has the my reputation precedes me. So what I'd like you to do is do that stuff. So look, stats, moves, and then the areas below the moves. Once we do that, then we'll do introductions, and then we'll do those relationships and strings. So I'm going to stop talking for a little while, and I'm going to mute myself. If you have questions, go ahead and hit me up on those.
Lol, it was 2 more moves?
Yes.
2 extra moves? Okay.
Mhm. Even if you have 2 moves in your thing to start, you get 2 more beyond that.
Okay.
Give everybody another minute or two to look over. If you find a image, you can put that URL in that image URL, and it should pull up a picture for you. All right. I am going to get started now and do introductions. I'll ask some questions, have you describe. So I'm going to move across the character keeper in character keeper order. So introduce yourself, your pronouns, your character's name, their pronouns, tell us what they look like, and then kind of tell us the story that you have in your head about them. I'll ask you some questions about that. And if you want to tell us kind of what moves and special things you have, just so everybody has the flavor of your playbook, that would be great as well. So, Sandra, can I start with you? You are muted.
Oh, yes, you can. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I was just changing my name here. So, okay. Just about me. My name is Sandra, she, her pronouns. And yeah, today I will be playing Kana Sundo. yeah, what about her looks? She seems to be exhausted. She has done this for a very, very long time and does it and still does it, but it took a toll on her. Her clothes are very muscle bearing, so maybe like I'm thinking about a bit like the some kind of Greek fighting toga, so short toga, and maybe if that's okay with everyone, one breast free, and very muscly, very, very strong body, and the most impressive thing about me is my sword. It's as tall as I am, and that's why I do have those muscly arms and strong legs, because I need my strength to wield this sword. And yeah, so what else do you need to know about me?
Well, let me ask you this before we talk
Yeah.
about moves. Are you picturing your character as human?
That's a good question. I usually need a bit time to find
Okay.
out how my character looks.
Sure.
But it's
yeah.
at least humanoid.
Okay.
So not too different this
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So think about that. Tell us tell us about your moves, and then I want to ask you kind of like where you're from and why you're here. So tell us about the moves that you picked, and then I know you've got that victories and scars thing that
Yeah.
I'm curious about.
Yeah. So the move that I've already had is I'm the Juggernaut Love. I can when I first mark a condition during a physical conflict, I can upgrade my next fight roll from a downbeat to a mixed beat, or from a mixed beat to an upbeat, and then have to answer one of a list of questions. For example, and those questions concern the ongoing conflict, the thing I'm fighting for at the moment. It's not about my past, but how I feel, or what happens in this fight, or yeah. And I've seen things you wouldn't believe, because, as I said, I've done this kind of thing for a very long time. And if I want to give someone emotional support, I can share a story about my past and things I've seen and done that I think will help in this situation. And the person I try to help then can decide if this story is really helpful or maybe not. And depending on that, I may clear a condition, or I can lose a string or mark a condition if they say it's not very helpful. And Wolf and Cub, I can protect other people, and with that move, I can take a +1 forward for actions if I promise someone to protect them, or something that is of great value to me. And once per session, when this object of protection is in danger, or would take a condition or be harmed, I can take this condition or harm instead.
Awesome. So where were you before this? Like, you have come to Dathomir to join the Nightsisters. Do you want to tell us where you came from, or do you want to tell us like what drew you here? Which do you think is more important?
I think I was wandering around the galaxy a lot. There's not one place I came from. And I think I believe to find peace and quiet here and to be left alone. And instead I found the next troubled community, the next community that needs help and protection, and another reason to fight on. I thought to get to a place where I can get some rest, or maybe some spiritual healing, and instead I found another fight, my next fight.
Is it a different kind of fight than you've had before? Or is it, or do you right now, do you feel it's the same kind of thing again?
I had fights like this before, fights for people I care about, against really almost insurmountable danger. But also I had other fights. I had fights where I just tried to get along in the galaxy. I think I sometimes fought for money, or just sometimes even just for the joy of it, because sometimes I can and do enjoy what I'm doing. If I'm in the fight, it's something I'm good at. But I do this now for quite a long time. So yeah, I had fights like this, fights for people I care about, fights for a cause I believe in, but also fights for money or just for fighting's sake.
And like what was the path that you took to come here? Did you receive a vision? Did somebody tell you about this place? Did you hear about like how did you come to be here?
I heard a lot of rumors.
Okay.
And I tried to find it, and then I tried to find contacts who told me about this. And I think I found in the end one person who could tell me where this planet is and how to get there.
So for your victory, you picked a foe thought to be unstoppable, met their ends at your blade. Who were they? So what's the significant foe that you fought?
Yeah, I'm not that good at names, so maybe you could help, but it was someone who was involved deeply in some sort of crime.
So like somebody like from the Empire, like a Darth figure?
No. It was more a criminal
Okay.
trying, I think, involved in extortion of people who could not fend for themselves. Maybe working for someone else, but they were really had a fearsome reputation that they were really fast in their fight. And
maybe some assassin who worked for one of the Hutt cartels.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to write down Hutt cartel assassin.
Yeah, and
that's great.
They were really fast and sneaky, and everyone thought that I could never, because I'm not sneaky, and with my sword I don't seem to be fast, but in the end I got them.
Yeah. And then your scar is you can't save everyone. Who did you lose and what were they to you?
I lost tell me if that's okay for everyone. I think I go by Star Wars staple. I lost my parents.
Okay.
I was away from home, fighting a fight that was important for me, and in that time my parents were killed by, I think, by someone who wanted to take revenge on me.
Okay.
So it was a targeted attack. Yes.
All right. Perfect. All right. I think that gives us a good, strong sense of who you are.
I think I could take another of these questions.
Ooh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes,
which one do you want to take?
And I don't know. Because everything of those. Those are all so good questions.
Do you want to hang on to it until after we do the other introductions in
yes.
case you want to wrap?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds
That
good.
sounds good.
Well, we will come back to you also once we get everybody done to talk about those relationship questions. Those are on that relationships tab. Mona, let's come to you. Introduce yourself, pronouns, character pronouns, and talk about who you are.
Yeah. So I'm Mona, she, her. I'm playing Espa Argus, also she, her. So so she's the devoted, and so she has the more fanatical self-sacrifice, which is basically I can take someone else's condition for them. And I have for the code, so when I fight the enemy of my devotion, I can basically suffer a condition to choose an option even if I fail. And I also have what's best for them. So when I'm smitten with someone, I can treat that person as a subject of my devotion. So basically, my idea is that I am new from the Jedi Temple, and I'm thinking I am dispatched to Dathomir as some kind of observer, because I think after everything that went down, the order is a lot less prudish about like other false tradition. So they are not just going to reject Nightsisters outright. So they send me here like kind of both to study and to like keep an eye in case like the sister fall to the dark side again.
So we know that there is somewhere out there an organized set of people training in the Jedi way, claiming to be the heirs of the Jedi, and you were raised, trained among them, and now you've come here, and so you've defined your devotion as that Jedi code, right?
Yeah.
What do you look like?
So I'm really young, like relatively small human, and I think the order has like uniform a lot like the old Jedi order, but I think like because the people are younger and more open-minded, so there are a lot more variation. And because I'm very far from home, I'm starting to like not observe all the proper like the most proper etiquette and like behavior standards and dress code of the order. So it's a modified uniform basically, with a lot more like accessory and jewelry and like vanity stuff than would be approved of.
So you're young, you were trained among the Jedi Temple, probably not for that long, but above that, and then they sent you to be an observer here amongst the Nightsisters. Don't have a very good reputation. Like they have a dangerous reputation. Dathomir has a reputation for being a place where dark side energies arrive. What did you think when they asked you to do that? Did you feel honored? Did you feel uncertain? Did you feel disappointed?
Yeah, I think I'm not certain because I'm thinking like maybe I'm thinking like because I have two ideas. One is that they must trust me if they like assign me to this. But another side is that I think I am also like I have always been a bit of a maverick. So like I'm also thinking maybe this is some kind of punishment, like reassigned to Antarctica kind of thing. And I'm not entirely sure which one is true, or maybe both.
I like that. Like this has happened. Is it chaotic in your life? And that chaos that change has to go against the code that you set for yourself. All right. I think that gives us a good sense, and I see you kind of written out the Jedi Order code, and you've gotten those devotions. I think that's pretty clear. Awesome. We will come back to you to talk about the relationships after we do the introductions. That brings us to Tad. Tad, tell us about yourself, your pronouns, your character, their pronouns, and tell us about who they are.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Ted Cooper. Nice to meet you all. My pronouns are he, him. My character is Drake. Her pronouns are she, her. She is a seeker. She comes from a toxic power. In her case, that's a first order, like obvious toxic power in these times. Classic background, traced to be their trooper. Absolutely no one just noticed, her like force abilities or anything. Kind of slipped through the cracks or something. Who knows? Maybe no one even checked. But yeah, that's where her name comes from. That she, did some like little bit of tricks, never really realizing what that is. And yeah, after kind of things fell apart, Drake was just left wandering nowhere, basically, until she met some Dathomirian witch, Nightsister, who, recognized her powers and recruited her to join. But it's been, uphill fight against, certain values and ideas. So that's where this looks comes from. Like, that's how Drake's thinks like proper force user looks like, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the gun is just, I know how to shoot gun. Why should I like put it down? Like, that's like, that's like putting up your arms that you already have. That's stupid. So yeah, I try to like rewrite the first order values into commandments that are like offered, but to get to 6 is pretty hard here.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about the full 6, but I think you've got the always obey authority, never admit to your weak emotions, always cover your body with the uniform. I think those are good. Those are solid.
Yeah. They always cover your body. It's more like dress properly than like cover. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. What do you want to tell us about your moves that you picked?
Oh yeah. My moves are stiff upper lip that allows me to spend my tradition to ignore penalties, because I've gone through some hard training regime and I don't really, I can ignore some petty emotional stuff to get what I want. Well, until I can't,
Okay.
And hear me is, sometimes you just have to shout as much as you want to what you want, because how else do you explore your emotions that you've, just bottled your whole life as you've been told to? You can just do it normally. Who does that?
Do you think that Trick was just a ground trooper, or was an officer, or was a technician, or was something else in the service of the First Order? Like, what were they doing?
Yeah, I think like lower officer, sergeant or something, like, being very uptight, terrorizing the dozen people are under you a little bit.
What
Yeah.
was the breaking point that made you leave?
Good question. Where exactly are we in the continuity? We are after the last movie.
So
or-
we're after we're in sort of the range post the Ray trilogy. There's still First Order out there, kind of era.
Yeah. Well, I think that big crisis of fight came after the big loss, and think like. I mean, well, there are some forces still, but I think that the big idea that we are the strongest and we rule the galaxy and we bring the order and everything just kind of, after whatever happened in what was the last movie, like that doesn't really fly at this point. Like,
So disillusioned with the
Yeah.
promises that the First Order
Yeah,
made.
yeah.
Okay.
and all the sacrifices we did and all the bad stuff, like we're still not achieving anything. So what was it even for? Like,
All right. So finally starting to kind of question
Yeah.
the basis of that.
yeah.
So you have that tradition move. I'll try to remember it, but if you see it trigger to give you those
Yeah.
points, make sure you mention that.
Of course, yeah.
Last but not least, Travis, tell us about your character.
Indeed. I'm Travis. My pronouns are he, him. I am playing a Wookiee named Kat Kutta. Her pronouns are she and her. And this is the trickster playbook. So she is hides a lot of things. I like that the trickster playbook has a funny pull on emotions, both in hiding her own emotions, but being open to ties through emotions. And I have a move called the Mask. When you seek to persuade an NPC of a lie about yourself, you roll plus wit. When someone next one's called Ooh Feelings. When someone offers you emotional support and you refuse to open up, you increase your own feelings, and you can choose some stuff. Deft Fingers. When you filch something from a person, roll plus grace. Center of the web. When someone approaches you to get something from you or threaten you, choose one, a string or a question to figure them out. And most of my extra things are about feelings, which
Okay.
she is trying to hide.
So that's another currency you'll be tracking. I'll try and keep track, but I'm gonna fall on you a bit. Are we assuming the Wookiee is understandable by everyone, or how do you want to play that? Like that's always
Totally.
a thing. Are you good with us kind of like hand waving the Wookieness amongst
Absolutely.
your people?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
How did a Wookiee, force sensitive Wookiee, come to be here amongst the Night Witches?
Yeah. Kakata's family fled the Wookiee home planet from different imperial takeovers and enslavements that happened there. And they worked as like a big extended family, worked as a on the surface trading company, where they were also shipping and transporting a lot of goods. I think that there was not a ton, but some, and well, I mean, at any time, something has to be hidden from some of the big imperial powers, no matter what you call your empire. And she grew up on ships, um, rarely planet side other than to pick up stuff and take it away. But I think that she really didn't even know she was force sensitive until she passed by somebody else who was and felt that thing when she was pretty young. I know Wookiees live a long time, but and so has just been chasing rumors of how to develop that. But because of her family's, just because of what's happened to Wookiees and her family's experience, she has developed this trickster persona. She's kind of light-fingered, and despite her size and all of that, is capable of making people not notice her and doing some little things. But sometimes she also does things just because it's fun for her. So she'll cause some trouble because it's fun for her.
What does Katkata hope to find here? Like, what is it that she wants from this place?
She wants a permanent place. I mean, permanent home. She's been on the move her whole life.
Excellent. All right, I think that gives us a good sense of everybody, good sense of those choices. Let's go then. We're going to go back to relationships. If you look at the relationships tab, there are 3 questions there. Essentially that you get to throw out to see if people are interested. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go around and do one of them from each of us, and then we'll go back and do the other 2. So we'll kind of like set a little baseline, and then we'll come back around. And again, with any of these relationship questions, these are things that you can pose out there for somebody if you have an idea about who it might be. And they can say yes or no. You can also modify it as you need to. So Kana Sundo, our bloody, which of those relationship questions do you want to start with?
The second one.
Okay.
Who knows me better as a protector than they do as a person?
Ooh. Who do you think that might be?
I don't have a clear idea.
Anyone?
Anyone who feels
yeah.
like they.
I think that Katkata is looking for a protector, looking for someone to help guide her, and she's looking for home. So
And you've traveled a lot. Kanasundo has traveled a lot fighting, so you may have heard of them on some of their more positive things. Does that sound okay to you, Kana?
Yes.
Okay.
excellent.
Awesome.
So just put my name below or in the...
Yeah, just put the
Yes.
yeah. And then Mona for the devoted, for Aspar. Which one do you want to start with?
I'm thinking the second one, who looks out for you even when you don't look out for yourself.
Okay.
And for that one, I'm actually thinking, let me get the... I'm thinking Katkata actually, because I'm going by the idea that because from like what I know about Star Wars and like the thing of the devoted playbook is basically it's about burnout, right? Like you try your best to help other people, but you don't look out for yourself, and often that leads to you like make bad decisions. And so I think in this context, the look out for me isn't like, oh, fight beside me or like feed me. It's like, hey girl, it's time to loosen up, it's time to take a nap, or like let's go have a drink, or like let's like you are doing too many paperwork, let's go beat up some bad guy. Like know when to like relax and like self-care in that way.
Perfect. Like, that's great. Are you okay with that, Katkata?
Yes, absolutely. I'm now your wellness partner.
And then Trick, our seeker, which one do you want to do?
Let's start with the first. Who reminds me of home? How like proper? I'm getting that Asper is like very much like proper Jedi. Kind of person, I guess. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I think yeah. I'm gonna nominate you for that. Even though that would be like outrageous for like a lot of, well, I guess for both Jedi Order and First Order, but here we are.
about organization. It's about some kind of control. It reminds you
Yeah.
of that. Does that
Yeah.
work for you, Aspar?
Yeah.
And that brings us into our trickster. Which one do you want to start with?
Who has seen a hint of what's behind your mask?
Ooh.
I mean, sort of naturally it would be kind of Sundo, but I just gonna twist that a little bit, I think, just to expand the links. So I'm gonna say it's Trick. That Trick's sort of questing, if that's okay with you, Tad. Does it make sense? Since you're putting it in, I'm going for yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And what do you think
Nodding,
they've
sorry.
seen?
Yeah.
What did they see?
What have they seen?
I'm open to help with this, Tad. So I think it is they're so past the trickster persona, their real eagerness to develop their force powers, not just this be a part of a safe community, but to really focus on their force powers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
That brings us back to our bloody. Kana, let's do the other two relationship questions that you have.
Okay, so who knows something about me that I've never spoken about to anyone else?
So we've got somebody from the First Order, and we've got a Jedi. So which of those do you think would know?
I don't think that I'm a good judge of characters, so maybe it was Trick.
Okay.
If it's okay.
And what kind of thing do they know?
They know
One of your failures, one of your successes.
Yes, I'm looking at my scars now and
okay.
Answer.
Oh, yeah.
They know that I when I killed, I gave them this assassin a name, Rola Fell, and when I killed them, it broke the cartel, and through that, someone else came to power who was really a lot worse than the former boss of the cartel, and I blame myself for that.
Oh, nice.
And it's something I haven't told anyone because no one, not very many people know that I killed this assassin. Maybe one or two people who were there, and those are not here anymore. And
awesome.
They don't. So no one else knows about my involvement, and that I blame myself for a new crime boss that took power.
Are you good with Aspar as the answer to that third question?
Yeah.
Okay. And why would you be afraid to be vulnerable with this young Jedi?
Because I don't want another person in my life who I feel responsible for.
Oh, nice. Are you good with that?
I know how that can hurt.
Okay. Are you good with that, Aspar?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So let's then come to our devoted, your other two questions there. Which one do you want to start with of those?
Yeah, I want to ask, I want to do the who did you save from a terrible fate? So I think both Trick or like both Trick or Kana would make sense, so I don't know if anyone have any specific idea.
Mm.
Do you think it was something before you got here or something once you got here to Dathomir, Aspar?
I mean, it could be either, really.
Okay. Kana, Trick, either of you have an idea for that?
I mean, before now, I'm just like thinking if it could be when I was actually still the trooper, and we were on different side, on opposite sides. That would be like cool.
Yeah, so
go on.
so yeah, I mean,
Like pulled them from a wreck with your powers during a battle some time ago before
yeah,
everything went wrong?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, maybe something like that.
I like that. Aspar, do you think you know that you saved Trick? Or was it? Okay.
Yeah, probably not, because I think they all have helmets and stuff, right?
Yeah. So Trick, you probably recognize as Aspar, but you're not sure that she knows. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you good then, Aspar, having Kana as kind of an object of your devotion, your admiration?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And in what sense? Is it because she's been a hero in places or something else?
Yeah, I think it's mostly because like she's like a really formidable fighter, even though like she's a mercenary.
Yeah, I like that. Trick, which of your two do you want to do?
Okay, let's start with. I think it's. I have it like pretty obvious in my head right now. So like I read outrageous out of my companions. Like obviously this Wookiee small time criminal. Like what is she even doing here? And like why are we suffering this indignity here?
All right.
And if that's okay, and
Yeah.
like model for local custom would be Kana. So you know, she's powerful, she's great with force, renown. I mean, she should dress better, but like, you know,
Yeah.
you can have everything.
I dig that. And then last but not least, our trickster.
I was thinking worst victim of your trickery would be Aspar. Just, I think that she has come off a little high and mighty at times, just because of her past and her history, and just keeps talking about being a Jedi over and over again. Does that make sense to you, Mona?
Yeah, sure.
That fits how you're wanting to play this? Okay. So therefore, I'm most concerned about Kana.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if it's just that I have seen and met people like her, and just have experience that just terrified of that kind of person, even though they have obviously stepped up to take care of me since they're acting as my protector in some way. I think that I just still fear her past.
Nice. Does that work for you, Kana?
Yes.
So there's one more thing you're going to do. We're going to take our break, and you can do this now or later. For each of your fellow PCs, decide who you have strings on. You can have 0 strings on them. You can have 1 string on them. you can have 2 string on them. So do that. Basically, who do you think you have, looking at these relationships, who do you think you might have kind of influence over? If you feel it's strong, give them 2. If it's kind of mixed, give them 1. If you feel there's a distance, 0. And you'll write that in on your strings on your sheet. So we are.
Just a quick
Yeah.
question, Lowell, about strings.
Yeah.
In this game, strings are like, how are strings used in this game?
Sure. So strings are actually, rather than being like bonds to help you, strings are an influence that you have over someone else. So
Okay.
in the moves, some things, when you do a move to a fellow PC or interact with a fellow PC, if you have a string on them, it gives you a benefit. But the other thing that you can do is influence with a string. And that's not a rolled move, but it's, you can say, I'm going to spend my string. If you want to do this, you'll get an XP, if you'll go along with what I'm suggesting, that kind of thing. And that is a particular move on a second row of the moves. Okay. So let's go to 30 minutes after the hour. It's a little bit longer break, but we're kind of gone on just so we have a nice round number. We'll come back at what would be 10:30 for me.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
Are these the strings we are giving out, or are strings we have on people?
You're figuring out the strings that you have on the others.
Okay.
Yeah, you're deciding that yourself. So yeah, I'm going to stop the recording, and I'll see you at 30 minutes after. So I think for this episode, we're going to start out, in space, actually, and we'll see the red planet of Dathomir. We've got some budget for CG effects for our show here, so we get that nice shot. I think we come from there to a shot of an Imperial smaller cruiser, like a Corvette type. Over Dathomir, we can see some other ships in orbit here, some of the First Order ships and some others. And we will see a shuttle come out of that Imperial Corvette and streak down towards the planet. And we'll see a patrol TIE fighter following behind it. We get the shots of it trying to come in close. It hits the atmosphere of Dathomir, which is stormy. It's volcanic in certain areas. There we can see some of the landscape of the red rocks and deserts, but we can also see some of the swamps and so on. But we'll see the TIE fighter firing on the shuttle. The shuttle take a hit. One of the engine pieces blowing off from it. We see some fancy flying. We see that shuttle come tearing past a mountain, and of course, Stormtrooper TIE fighter flying. TIE fighter just catches the edge of the lip of the mountain, and we see it go flying off. But we can see at the same time this shuttle spin out of control, and we see it streak down towards the planet. And we take up with our characters at our Nightsisters locale, where the coven is, where they are. There are a couple of different features of the landscape for Dathomir. We've got the marshes and swamps. We've got kind of some jungle, sort of a tundra area that kind of mixes in there of weird woods and plants. And then we also have some mountains there. So, Kana, where is our coven? What's the landscape that we see when we come in?
It's The word I have in my mind is windswept, but I don't know what
Yeah,
is
so maybe maybe
in the wind. It's not.
some mountains down to kind of a rocky plateau. We see the winds
Yeah.
cutting across it.
And I think what is swept by the wind, so to speak, is like there are a very deep hanging clouds, so we can see almost it's a mixture between fog and clouds that are going over us.
Yeah, kind of creates an overcast here. We can see the crackling of the lightning and the clouds. It kind of illuminates. Aspar, do you think that the Coven settlement is it like outside, like a village style, or do we see like a cavern or an old reclaimed building? Like, what do you think the Coven space is?
I think it's probably a cavern.
Like do you like at the floor of kind of a valley, or do you think there's a walk up to kind of a mountainside cavern? What do you think?
Yeah. I'm thinking it's probably a mountainside. Like there are several cavern and caves, maybe connected together, either underground or inside the mountain.
Yeah. So we can see some work stone. This is clearly an old place, a refuge for the Coven. It's helped keep them out of sight from these things. It looks very sort of, very primitive. But Trick, what is the thing we see on screen as we kind of come down, maybe even move into the cavern, that says Star Wars, that we see the Star Wars tech? Like, what is it that tells us that we're not just in some mountainous primitive cavern?
Oh yeah, there's like a massive metal thing inside in the middle of the cavern that is giving out heat. That's heating out the cavern. It looks like it half looks like it could be on the back of some sort of Star Wars ship.
Yeah, it's set up. It looks reclaimed. There are those like cabling running everywhere from it. Maybe there's a panel where we see some weird fluid inside for no particular reason that kind of changes colors.
Yeah, but it also says like not very advanced planet because it's like held into place by several locks.
Nice. And then Kata, what is the thing here that we see that like really tells us that we are in something unusual, in a Nightsisters, in these Force Witches area? Is it drawings? Is it the way the buildings are set up? Is it some statuary? What do you think that is?
So something symbolic.
Yeah, that says, "Ooh, okay, this is different."
Yeah. I think we've come sort of flown the camera into the cave and around this heat source in the middle. What you can see from the inside looking out that you can't see from the outside are great big long red and black banners with the night symbol, the symbols, and it's going out from that front, so facing out of the way from the cave, long banners, and then smaller banners up above, caverns in offshoots, with different, I don't know, I mean, the role player wants me to call them specialties, but it would be like different orders within the order, specialties within the order.
Yeah, okay.
Representing those.
I like that.
Some ancient, like almost falling apart.
Yeah. Perhaps these are banners reclaimed from not just the Nightsisters, but the other covens that were not named, but were also destroyed, that were lost. The idea that this is a greater community that's being restored. And I think that things are, a little somber here. We are just maybe a week away from the passing of your founder, Abessa Janto, who really set this up. And there's some tension about where this is going to go. And right now, Sister Cascada, if you look at the NPCs tab, she is no heir was named, but she's the most senior of the others who have been here, and people are looking to her. There are a few others there that I've placed. I'm imagining I've got a novice and then a couple of other Nightsisters there just to give faces and names to our NPCs. And then actually, if you, I have some other NPC pictures down below in case past the Imperial row, in case people need those. So, Kana, what do we see of you? Like when our camera first comes in to see you, what are you doing? What is your living space? Are you talking to someone? Are you practicing? Are you meditating? What do we see that says something about who you are?
Oh, I'm practicing.
Okay.
Most definitely. I'm trying to but I'm not practicing with my weapon. I'm practicing some kind of unarmed fighting style that looks like I would use a weapon, but there is no weapon. And then it changes to really like Mora stands for a fist fight.
Okay.
So it's really yeah, I try to get used to movements where I change my fighting style mid-fight.
And when you see Sister Cascada kind of comes by, she's walking, clearly going to talk to someone. Is her look at you approval, disapproval, like wondering what you're doing? Like what is the look on her face when she sees you?
Amusement.
Okay.
She is amused that I try this this kind of exercise to get in shape or get into the right mental place, and she feels a bit superior to me and condescending and
Okay.
amused.
All right.
A mixture of fondness and condescension.
She'll probably look over. She sees that your sword is certainly still there, not far away from you, certainly close by. Aspar, we move around elsewhere in this coven cavern. What do we see you doing? Are you observing? Are you practicing? Are you reading from something? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm meditating and I'm doing that like classic Jedi training thing where there's this annoying little flying ball that's just like and I was like I have my eyes closed and my legs crossed and I'm trying to like hit it like every time like hit it with one strike. So like just sense its movement and try to like each time hit it with one swing of my sword and then like yeah.
Absolutely. So are you using a lightsaber?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it the classic single lightsaber? Is it a double-ended one? Is it like a light spear? Like what do we see?
Yeah, it's a classic like blue lightsaber with like a more decorated handle.
Absolutely. And I think you're one of the few people there are some lightsaber-like weapons amongst the Nightsisters of old. So I think we've got that. There are some of them use powered bows and things. But I think yours is probably the most sort of Jedi-y lightsaber that we see here. Do you think, what do you think has been the reaction of the others since you arrived to this, very classic status symbol lightsaber?
Yeah, I think my impression is that Nightsister doesn't much care for like lightsaber one way or the other because they don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think maybe there are some younger sisters who are interested in like learning. Like I think because like the exchange goes both ways, right? So like there are also some Night Sister who is interested in like the Jedi ways.
Oh, yeah, awesome. So you've got a couple of the younger novices, maybe Brahma, who we've seen is I've got a picture of her there, who's watching this, observing, trying to grasp the pattern of what you're doing. Trick, camera moves. Where do we see you? Inside, outside? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm outside. I just arrived from hunt. I'm carrying that weird animal with long neck and 6 legs on my on a floating platform that's just like like that's dragged behind my speeder.
Yeah. So you have a little speeder bike kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've seen you, there's a roadway. You can bring that up into the cavern with this. You've got the hunt. What do you hunt with? Do we see a rifle? Do we see one of these bows? Do you use your pistol? What do you think you hunt with?
Yeah, I think it's a rifle.
Okay.
It looks kind of like out of place here. It's just a standard rifle of Republic or Order or someone that I
Absolutely.
just bought somewhere.
Yeah, and so you come in, as you unloading. I imagine we see a food preparation area that is that weird mix of, we've got a fire going, we've got the roasting meat and things like that, but then we've got the jars of blue milk and other things around to mark that out. Kakata, where are you? What do we see of you?
In my brain, there are these side caverns that are for training. There's like a big open space that you can bring vehicles in, around, which most of it is, but there are specific caverns for specific kinds of training. And Kakata is um, yeah, training young ones, new
Mhm.
Nightsisters, by force picking up metal boxes and tossing them toward them, where they have to push them to the side or smash them or whatever. But she's got whatever version of Wookiee grin is on her face, and she is making them curveball.
Okay.
So instead of coming straight at them, that they're just curving around or spinning at the last second, something that will surprise them, make them react to that kind of thing. She's just happy playing this trickstery thing of
And we think that's your strength, like that's where your force talent lies, in this kind of precise movement with the force. Okay.
yeah, I love that.
Like
Yeah.
that. And Sister Cascada goes around and comes and briefly speaks to each of you and asks if you could stop what you're doing and please come and to the Coven pool to speak with her. And I think we cut to the four of you together. The pool is a body of water here that's kind of a ritual well that goes on, and it is a place where a lot of the Force witches, ghosts, like, manifest there. And when the four of you come in, you will see that Cascada is kind of in the midst of an argument with one of these sisters that you will recognize as Sister Tarek, this ghost from the Night Witches. And the gist of it seems to be that Tarek is telling her that whatever she plans, she shouldn't do it. There's no reason for it and so on. But Cascada will, as you come in, kind of concentrate and dismiss the ghost, and we'll turn to the four of you and we'll say, I have to ask you four to undertake a task. It's something I'm worried may potentially draw some attention to us. As you know, the First Order, and she'll kind of look at Trick, have stepped up their patrols with the Brotherhood of Red Dusk. They have checked around, but of course Dathomir makes it difficult to scan and detect us without the use of robot probes, and they're not wasting those. So we wish to remain quiet. However, an Imperial shuttle, small, like not a fancy one at all, we had one of our people spot it coming down several clicks from here. Perhaps 2 or 3 hours walk away. It's close enough that it makes me nervous. So I would like you four to go travel there. If there is anything left, or anyone alive, decide how you wish to handle that. And again, she seems uncertain. I just want to make sure that it isn't something more dangerous that we should be worried about. To kind of look, and I think when she looks around to kind of like decide who should answer, I think she probably looks at Kana. There's some suspicion of Trick. Aspar's kind of an outsider, and Katkata is a trickster as well as being a Wookiee. So I think that she does look at you.
Yeah, and I ask tactical questions like coming down like crashing or coming down like being shot down. Do we have any information about that?
She says there was some fire spotted, so there's a possibility that it was shot down. Certainly the craft did not come down under its own power or control.
So definitely not landing, either
That's-
crashing or being shot down.
Yeah, that's our impression right now. Can you do this, Kana?
I wouldn't ask these questions if I hadn't the if I were not ready to go there.
And she'll look around at the rest of you. She'll turn to you, Aspar. I know you are here as a guest and observer, but everyone has to contribute. Are you willing to do this, Aspar?
Certainly, Mistress Cascada. The threat of the dark side is not to be underestimated.
Excellent. And so she's one of those people who is very much like ambivalent about saying light side, dark side. So maybe she does kind of, you get a little bit of a frown, but she'll nod. And then she'll turn to you, Katkata. Is this all right with you?
Yeah, Kakata nods and actually holds up her weapon, which is like a long, like Ray's staff, but we all know that it has little light blades on the
Okay.
end of it when she wants. She's just gonna do a Wookiee and howl. Hold up her weapon up over her head and howl.
Perhaps a little quieter than that when you go, but that seems right.
She'll give a little nod bow of her head.
And then finally she'll turn to you, Trick. Maybe a little judgmental given your background, but she says, "And are you all right with doing this?"
Yes, sister. And there's like a take to salute, but I stop myself after like moving.
And she
So I
says,
don't give a salute.
"Okay." She'll nod. She'll say, "If you could leave within the hour, that would be appreciated. I will have Calcus provide you with what sketch maps we have." And I think we do cut from that to the four of you out with these maps and traveling through the mountains here. What's the bit of alien terrain thing, Kana, that we're going to see while you're traveling? Is it a weird animal? Is it a plant? Is it something else?
I think it's in those areas where the clouds are really, really close to the mountain. There are mosses that are have very strange colors, and they grow over vast areas of the mountains, like a bit like a meadow, but it's very steep there. So, and they are like in deep purple and a glowing orange and things like that. And they look really alien and dangerous.
Yeah. Weird edges. The coloring is kind of wrong, a little iridescent in places as you move through there. Tad, you said that Trick hunts. So how, as you are traveling, as we see the way that people are walking and stuff, what are you in your hunter's mode, or are you playing it more casual? What do you think that is?
Yeah. I think I'm in my hunter slash military on scouting mission mode. Basically, it's kind of the same for me. Yeah, like checking the area, moving through the underground, and I assume the others are just like walking as if they are on the trip. From my perspective, like, why am I even trying?
Okay, I like that. Aspar, how long do you think you've been here at Dathomir? Is it a short time? Have you been here for a while? What's your sense? And like, have you been out in the landscape much before this?
Yeah, I think I'm here like a few months maybe. I think I have seen some of the landscape, but it's not familiar to me. I think I'm around enough to like know like the people's custom and stuff like that, but obviously not the whole planet and anything.
So let me ask this about Aspar. Did Aspar come from a urban city planet, or were you raised in like a farming community or a desolate community? Like what kind of place did you grow up?
Yeah, because I don't actually know what like the Jedi thing is like after the sequel movie. So I'm just going to assume the location is like Jedi Temple from the Clone Wars. So it's like a temple in a like relatively crowded urban area.
Yeah. So this is probably a little bit different than the environment you brought in. This is that kind of barren landscape. It probably reminds you a little bit of some of the battles that you fought in not too long ago against the First Order.
Yeah.
And Kata, you were raised on ships, right? And while we have a picture of the Wookiees as native to the natural environment, the plants and the trees and stuff, what is here? What is your reaction to walking in the great outdoors?
I think it's actually a kind of a surprising reaction. Kind of stands a little taller, is almost bouncing on her feet, as if she appreciates the counterintuitively, she appreciates the space. It's just her native deep down Wookiees who just wants the outside and wants the space. She's, being observant, even smelling the air, but everybody can just slightly hear a little Wookiee humming as she's going, almost skipping. Not skipping, but almost skipping.
And you will come over rise and you will see down below is kind of the edge of some marshlands. You can see the trees and plants there. In the distance, you can see a plume of smoke that's still kind of rising up from a wreckage site. But the other thing you will see is outside of the edge of the marsh, there is a land speeder done in the black and white imperial colors. And you will see that there are a group of stormtroopers. They're in that kind of slightly off desert camo kind of tan that's not white. And the three of them are moving around kind of in a patrol like they're watching for something. Kana, what do you do?
I try to get as close as possible. As long as I have some kind of what's the word?
Cover?
Cover. Thank you.
All right. So
And
kind of,
before that, I look at my my I don't know, sisters. Okay, Asper maybe not, but the others are definitely my sisters, and ask them to stay behind.
So you're kind of taking charge, heading down. Yeah. So I think this is Defy Danger. Is our role. We have a roller that's listed on the safety tab.
Yeah, just a second.
Now, one of the things about Defy Danger is you get to pick how you're doing this. So what do you think this is? Is this courageous? Is it elegance? Is it being clever?
Courageous.
Okay.
It's because it's not clever and not elegant.
Okay. So let's have you roll with daring.
Okay. Just 2. Yes.
So that's a 9, or what's your daring?
Yeah, my daring is 2.
Okay. So I think that you will make your way down, kind of following, getting closer, and kind of have to come a little bit around. But the troopers kind of move, and set up like a little communications relay, and now they're between you and the others. They've kind of cut off your way back. Does that seem like a fair complication? Okay.
Yes,
So
definitely.
you're watching them, they're definitely communicating with other people. So there must be a larger group spread out around here. Aspar, you see this, Kana goes down. These stormtroopers are getting a comms unit set up, but they're kind of now between you and Kana. What do you want to do, Aspar?
Can we hear what they are saying, like the troopers?
Probably need to move closer to do that, unless you want to use your force powers to listen in.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try that.
Okay. So we've got call upon powers. It's the first time we're seeing this. All of you are still coming into your own, so it's kind of an uncertain thing. You're trying to extend your senses. So what is your stat that you're always going to be rolling for using the force?
I'm thinking spirit, because that sounds like.
Yeah. So you're going to call upon your spirit. You don't have any conditions marked, so there's no penalty. So you're just going to roll with a spirit. So that is a 7. So I think the cost is that you're going to pick up some of their conversation, but it's just going to be bits. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, sure.
They're checking in with a couple other units. You hear that? A couple other units. You can hear that they are having other people come because they're not really prepared to go into the marsh. So they've apparently sent for somebody else, but you don't know who. But you can tell, I think the information you definitely can get is that there are probably some more of these patrols around the edges of the marsh, and they're kind of waiting to go in. Does that seem good?
Yeah.
Trick, and I'm going to assume that you relay that to the others, by the way. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trick, you and Kakata, you're watching this. You see that Kana has moved into position. What do you want to do? You are muted.
They already called for resources, so that's not ideal, but you know what? We're supposed to first find out what they are doing here. Or exactly, so you know what? I'm just gonna walk there.
Just gonna come down the slope at them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
mean, if nothing, I can pretend to be Knight of Ren or whatever.
so Aspar, Kakata, you're like, okay, what are we doing? And then Trick stands up and just starts walking down the slope. So I think that like at this, as soon as you come, they turn, they stop what they're doing, the and you'll hear the identify yourself.
Okay, fake name. I'm Terkisia, Knight of Ren. Report your unit and status and identify yourselves.
Okay. So I think this is Defy Danger.
Probably, yeah.
And this does feel like wit, probably, or heart. I think either one of those would work.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick wit because that's higher.
Always the plan.
Well, that didn't work.
So I think that you come down. The good news is you get to mark XP.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
But the bad news is one of them says, you're not Magent, and they start to raise their blasters. Like clearly they know that you're not a Knight of Ren, because clearly they know a Knight of Ren who's on planet. And they raise that up. Kata, you see that happen. What do you do?
So you see them call towards a Knight of Ren?
No. So they clearly know there's clearly a
Oh,
Knight of
that
Ren
just
on
Trick is
planet,
not. Yeah.
and they clearly know. So when Trick says this, they know right away that it's not.
Okay.
And they are raising their blasters to cover Trick.
All right. Okay, well, that was going to be my first thing is there a Force user here? So we believe that there is a Force user here because...
Yeah, but not in the vicinity.
Gotcha. Okay. I am going to reach out with the Force and try to tip the communications tower and sort of swing it through the troopers facing towards Trick. As in
Okay.
kind of like in a half circle in front of a communications tower.
So essentially you want to kind of knock them down so they can't immediately fire is
True.
what's going on. Does that seem fair?
Yep.
What is the stat that you Kata roll when you use the Force?
You know, I'm gonna make it wit just to keep with this trickster thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have you roll.
2d6 plus 2 roll. Nice.
That's a 10. So you lift it up, you smack it into them. They all stumble forward, like they were raising their blasters. They're out of position. And I think the bonus is that wrecks their comms gear right now. Like they can't immediately pick it up and use it. Kana, the situation has changed. You're close by. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Who seems to be the biggest danger to Trick in this moment from the stormtroopers?
Oh, I think there's one, like two of the stormtroopers are like fumbling their weapons. The third one is maybe a little bit more experienced, and they are trying to brace themselves to get in position.
Yeah, I think I come out of cover and try and just try to get him or them out of commission. I try to fight.
All right. So is your fight daring or grace?
Daring.
Okay.
I'm not graceful.
All right. So let's have you roll that.
Okay. Oh, always the wrong. Oh my. That's not good.
So that is a
5.
It's a 5. So I think as you come out of cover, I think that you are grabbed and flung. And you will see now emerging from the edge of the swamp, this figure with the crackle of the dark side emerging out. They have a lightsaber in one hand, and they have flung you, Kana. You have to mark a condition.
Yes.
Yeah, can I use my fanatical self-sacrifice here?
Sure. How does that work?
Yeah, I think I use the force to like grab, to like cushion their fall.
Okay. Well, let's check if Kana wants to do it or if Kana has a move first, and then we'll resolve that. What do you
I
think?
don't have a move before that, but if I get to mark one condition in the first condition during a fight, then I can use my own move. For my next move, I can then upgrade a downbeat to a mixed beat or a mixed beat to an upbeat. And so
would you prefer to have that happen or have Aspar? Okay. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So I think you
Yeah.
kind of start to reach out. You'll see Kana hit a rock there. What condition are you going to mark, Kana?
I think I'm angry now.
Okay. Absolutely. So you hit, now there are 3 stormtroopers and this other figure there, tattoo on her face. She's kind of standing there looking around, trying to decide exactly what's going on here. Because right now she's only seen the 2 of you at this moment. But Aspar, what do you want to do?
I think I draw my sword but I don't want to just fight her. I think I tell them, I beg of you, choose to live. So I want to try to convince them to back off, I guess.
Okay. So this feels like there are a couple ways we can do this. We could have you defy danger with kind of the charm, or you could try and entice.
Yeah, sure. Let me try to entice.
Okay, so let's have you roll with heart.
I got a 5.
Out of 5. So the good news is you get to mark XP. The bad news, yes?
I see it. No, I was just looking for where to mark it.
Okay. And I think she looks at you and she says, "Oh, a young Jedi." And she kind of starts to glide over towards where you are. You are going to be delicious. Why is a Jedi here on Dathomir so dark? So much darkness. And she'll kind of gesture with her fingers towards you as if to say, "Come hither, come towards me." Trick. You are muted.
Yeah, so, well, I can spend one tradition to temper wrath of the authority. I don't know. Or maybe I can just continue fighting.
It's up to you. We've got
Yeah.
a dark Jedi, a Sith here who's luring Aspar, and I still have a hard move sitting in the corner to use.
Yeah.
And we've got these 3 stormtroopers.
You know what? I'm gonna go into I don't really remember all those first order details, do the proper salute and just identify myself as a member. There's no.
But I think you've already tried that trick and it has not worked.
Okay, yeah, sure. So you know what? Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna, you know what? Screw it. Let's keep this for some other time.
Okay.
You know what? There are those three guys that try to fire at me. Yeah, I'm just gonna approach them while firing at them, and then, try to approach close enough to be able to use my lightsaber.
Okay. Let's have you roll fight. Do you think that your fight is with daring or grace?
Daring.
Okay, then let's have you
Yeah,
roll.
this is not very graceful. Just pure power and willpower. Firepower.
Okay.
Full success.
Oh, full success.
No. So
So you choose 3 from the fight results. Each time you choose to inflict a condition, you'll take out one of the stormtroopers.
yeah.
And then your opponent will choose 1.
Okay, they are just they're just nameless troopers, so there's no really point in flirting with them. So I think that I will inflict condition, create opportunity, and take an object from them, which will be the communication tower.
Okay.
So yeah, I approach flash. I shoot one with my pistol. Then I kick down the other.
Okay.
And then I slash down the communication tower with my lightsaber.
Perfect. Move up, pistol firing, force push one of them down, and then the lightsaber cuts through the comms unit. There's one who has to stand up, and there's one that's still up, and we've got this Jedi that you are now fairly close to, and she says, "Oh, there's more of you. Good. Katkata, what do you want to do?"
I have pictured Kakata being kind of hidden still at this point,
Yeah.
or crouching, watching, but I think at this point she's gonna pull off that staff and light it up and race downhill towards directly towards this Sith.
Okay.
with
So
big
yeah,
Wookiee howl.
that feels like fighting. It definitely feels like daring.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Can I do defy danger?
Uh,
Or is fight the move?
Fight is the move if you want to deal conditions. If you want to change up the situation, like you want to change the environment or change the game state, that would be defy danger. If you're like trying to get somebody out of the way, or you're trying to get past them or hide or something like that.
Okay.
Draw their attention, focus.
Yeah, why don't I like that defy danger, or draw their attention. So if I can draw the Sith's attention away from those that she's seeing.
Oh yeah, if I'm
so
Aspar, who he's staring at with hungry
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
All right. So does that feel like daring or wit or something else?
Daring.
Okay.
Daring and wit are the same. So let's say
Let's have you
+2.
roll.
Yeah.
So that is a 7, and I think it is that you come rushing down, and like suddenly for her attention is entirely on this Wookiee, and I do think she is up on you, and you see the 2 lightsabers come out, and she engages with you and hits you for a strike. So I think the cost is you're going to take a condition. Does that seem okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I take the condition?
Are you good with that, Katkata?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does that look like, Aspar, when her attention is still going to be on Katkata, but how do you take that hit?
Yeah, I think I just I think I quickly go and I block her strike with my lightsaber, but it hit me instead. So
yeah, hits you, kind of does that bounce off, catches your shoulder, kind of knocks you back. You take that condition, and she's not even looking at you. The Wookiee here is a a dangerous foe.
So let me see.
And you get a so is there what's it like? You get an XP. Excellent. All right, I'm going to swing back to Takata. That was not fun. You got thrown.
Yes, and now I'm quite angry and I want to get back in the fight. How close am I to this Sith?
I think you could get up and move over to where she's engaged with Kata. You still have one stormtrooper with the blaster raised and another one that's getting up. Just to tell you kind of what the situation here is on the ground.
Okay, so then I will go to one of those. The one with a raised blaster, because I don't believe that they are just mooks, because everyone who is in a fight is a worthy opponent.
Absolutely. So let's have you roll fight.
Yes. And again, I'm not graceful. Never been.
So that'll be an 8.
An 8, yes.
And does it get bumped up?
It gets bumped up. And I have to answer one of those questions.
Okay. Let's answer that and then we'll talk about what this looks like.
Yeah. And I think that comes into this question. I will take the one. Okay, where am I? To strike against your opponent, you leave something else open. What is it? So I think that's quite easy to answer, because I now concentrate on this stormtrooper and I leave my defenses open to the other people in the field. So the other stormtrooper and this Sith are, I'm very open to them, because if I fight someone, I concentrate on that fight. That's how I win. And this stormtrooper is now the most important person in this fight.
So
for me,
you've got 3. Choose 3.
Yes.
If you inflict a condition, that'll drop one of the stormtroopers. You can choose that again if you want to drop the other stormtrooper. What do you want to choose there for your 3 picks?
Yes. I definitely want to inflict a condition on this first stormtrooper I'm fighting, because that's what I do.
Your sword strikes and drops them. Then what else?
Yeah. And I want to create an opportunity for an ally. So I at least want to. I don't think that I drop the other stormtrooper, but I think I just engage the other stormtrooper as well.
You want to knock their weapon away, perhaps?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 2. Like your backswing on your sword hits the gun out of the hand of the other trooper who's getting up, and you've got 1 more.
And I've got 1 more. I would like to take an object or seize a superior position. So I would like to get in a in a great position to maybe to get in a position where I can see if other reinforcements are coming.
Okay.
So that they won't surprise us.
Oh, absolutely. So you can leap on top of that land speeder,
Yeah.
kind of look around. They maybe have a display, one of those very primitive, it's just black and white, and you can see that where their other troops are positioned. Does that seem cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that this Sith is going to take the reaction there, and I think they say, "Oh, don't run away. You're too beautiful to leave, and you will be a worthy opponent." And I think they're going to get a string on you. Does that seem fair?
Mm.
Okay. Trick.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I had an order in my head. Let's do Aspar and then do you. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Aspar.
Yeah. So I think at this point, I'm just going to fight her.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, what kind of absurd pickup line is that? And I'm just going to, yeah. So I'm going to fight. So I'm just going to fight with staring.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 4.
Okay. So I think there is that moment when you go,
Oh,
yes.
I have. So when I fight an enemy of my devotion, I can suffer a condition to choose an option from the fight move, even if I fail the roll.
Sure.
So I think I'm going to choose. Yeah, I'm going to inflict a condition too.
Okay.
I'm going to, yeah.
And what condition are you going to mark?
I already marked angry, so at this point, I'm going to mark insecure.
Okay. So I think that you go rushing at them, and they suddenly have to parry both Katakata's blade and yours, and they've kind of got that up, and you hit them, and I think you see her look and assess the situation, and I think the hard move is that you see her, and there's that force leap up into the air, that backflip up, and she flies back into the marsh. Trick.
Well,
Troopers are out. The Sith is fleeing, but there's probably still more people coming potentially.
Yeah.
But there's no communications that's been sent off, so they don't know anything's gone wrong.
Yeah. So, well, I don't want her to get away, so I will try to. Well,
I'm gonna chase her down by yourself into the swamp.
yeah.
Okay.
With some shots between like running to try to slow her down. Just assuming that I can shoot at her and slow her down and she can't do anything to me, which is stupid, but maybe.
Yeah, I think this is actually a defy danger.
Yeah. With daring?
Sure. Take off right into the swamp there.
Well, that is a lot.
That is a lot. So you are hot on her heels, exchanging fire. You're firing. She's knocking the shots with the lightsaber, but you are close behind. She is right there. Kakata, you see that? You see Trick take off after her.
Yes, I am going to pursue Trick as much as anything, just to try to give her some assistance.
Okay. Do you want to roll Defy Danger, or does it feel like it rises to the level of move, or should I tell you something else you see as you get in there?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to something else I see.
Okay. I think you will see Trick running, chasing after you see that lightsaber thing, and kind of get in the marsh, and you will see another set of troopers, and they're kind of in the distance, but you see two of them have this person that they've got by both arms. You can see it's a woman. She's covered in mud and muck. They are lifting her up to like they're carrying her off. And you can see they've got like a coffin-sized thing behind them on floaters that there are a couple more troopers moving along. What do you want to do?
Does this marsh have trees, or is it Lord of the Rings marsh?
Oh, I think it's trees.
Yeah.
Because it's more fun to jump around in those.
Yeah, great. I'm gonna Wookiee up those trees.
Okay.
And try to move through the canopy towards, like, basically get over whatever Trick is up to.
Okay. Absolutely. I think that you can do that because there hadn't been blaster fire before this, but now there's blaster fire in the marsh, and they are like they're picking up the pace because they don't know what's going on. But I think you can pace them and get into position. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. Kana, I think that like you can see from the scanner. I mean, you know that Trick took off this way, and I think that you can see that there are some more forces, but they're not moving towards you.
Yeah, but I am on the land speeder. So I'm taking the speeder and asking anyone who's still there. So if they want to join me, and I want to go to this other group because I think Trick probably knows what she's doing. So we should.
Aspar, do you want to jump in the land speeder?
Yeah, sure.
So let's have a Defy Danger.
I just wanted to ask, do I have to do a move to get there, or can we get there and then do a move there?
I think it makes fair sense. Actually, yeah. You will, watching the monitor, you will speed up the land speeder. You can't go into the swamp, but you can kind of tell by the way they're going where they're going to come out. And I think that when you start getting towards there, you will see that there is another land speeder with just a couple of stormtroopers waiting. They're like waiting for them to come out of the swamp. And they see this other land speeder, yours, flying towards them. Of course, with the canopy, they can't tell who's in there. What do you want to do?
This is... I should not go into the next fight. I should try to trick them in some way, but that's not what I'm good at, and that's not what I like to do. So I think I drive the speeder just into this third group.
Okay.
Into this waiting group to get into the next fight.
That feels like Defy Danger to crash and take their speeder out of commission.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it's again daring.
Okay.
Because it's not elegant. It's not clever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a 12.
You hit it like I imagine that there's this sort of Fast and the Furious like slide turn. You smack this land speeder into that one. That one flips over. And of course, as soon as the suspensors are off the ground, it crashes down. And the stormtroopers are knocked every which way there. It is loud. Aspar, you're in this vehicle as it smashes into the other land speeder. What do you want to do?
Do I have to defy danger first?
No, I think with her 10 plus, there's no worry.
I'm an excellent driver.
So are the stormtroopers still are they still standing, or
If it would be no problem, I won't even think it's a roll. If you want to say that you're going to take them out of commission, you can do that. You just have to describe to me how you do that.
yeah, no, I'm going to try to I think I'm going to entice them. I'm going to tell them, look, you can't win this fight. The Nightsisters are strong, and they are also allied with the Jedi Order. But you can. There's a better way. You don't have to serve the dark side.
So I think
you can. Yeah.
I think definitely you're up on them. You've got your lightsaber out. They're knocked down. I don't know if they're listening to the full extent of your story, but they know their hands are up. Because they know what you can do to them. And you've solved that problem without having to strike any of them down.
Yeah.
So let's come back to Trick. Trick, you're chasing this Sith through the woods by yourself. You're right on her heels.
Yeah. So yeah, I would like to. Yeah, I will attack her.
Okay.
Come on, Magent. Don't. Where do you think you are going? And yeah, I think that my fighting style is still more brutality than grace.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
Yeah.
So that is a 12. You pick to pick 3.
Yeah.
And she picks 1.
Yeah. Now I pick flirting, obviously.
Okay. So you will get a string on Magent.
And yeah, I will slow her down, which obviously through this fight exchange, which will create an opportunity, and guess I will inflict an condition through yeah.
So like you get her in a place where like she has to stop.
Yeah.
Like she can't run any further without like she has to turn and concentrate and force jump. And I think that you're up slash with your lightsaber. What do you say? Like what is your flirting here?
Yeah. Well, now that I see you, I regret a bit that I never made that the First Order never realized my force potential.
And of course she says back, well, they still can. And she's got 2 conditions, so I think she's in bad shape. But she will kind of step forward, and she is in your space, like not with the blades out, but she's close. And despite the marsh and everything, she smells good. And she's like, no, seriously. It whispers at you, you could come with me. And I think she'll reciprocal take a string on you. Does that feel reasonable?
Yeah, very reasonable.
Kind of locked up in a close by one another there, just the 2 of you alone. Let's come to Katkata. Katkata, you're kind of following behind. Okay, we got the thing. And then you'll hear a tremendous crash. Just an absolute crash. And like that stops this little convoy here because they heard the blaster fire, but now up ahead of them, they've seen that, and they probably see the flare up from one of these land speeders getting taken out. What do you do?
So I'm in the trees over how many? These are the ones with the
Yeah. So there
flag
are
up kind of thing.
let's say there's a pair of them holding the prisoner,
Okay.
and there's another pair moving this levitating sledge with the box on it.
Okay. What I'd like to do is force move the sledge, just bump, like super quick, just flick bump to try to grab everyone's attention and drop down on one of the troopers holding the person.
Sure. So does that feel like fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then daring or grace?
Daring.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So
10.
that's a 10. So you get 3 picks.
Okay.
There are 4 troopers. Each time you pick inflict a condition, you'll take out one of them.
Okay. I will definitely do the 2 holding the prisoner.
Okay.
And I'll just say that I bumped one hard enough that his helmet smashed off a tree.
Okay. So you drop 3 of them, but as this trooper that you hit that's holding the prisoner got knocked, they push her, and you will see her go into the water.
Okay.
And immediately like splash, and she's got her wrists tied up there. Okay. Kana, Aspar has taken care of these troopers. The land speeder is disabled. And I think from where you're at, you can see Katkata drop out of the trees. You can see her take out these stormtroopers. There's one of them left. And you'll see this prisoner go into the water. What do you do, Kana?
Am I close enough to try to get the prisoner out?
Absolutely.
Out of the water? Yes.
Absolutely. Defy danger.
Okay, I defy danger. Again.
Unless you have another move that
yeah,
would be appropriate.
not another move, but my what I really want to do is to get to this person and figure them out. But first I have to get them out of the water.
Yep.
Okay. And again, might, endurance, or courage. Yeah. Or no, I know what I do. I've not used it till now. I call upon my powers to get her out of the water.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
What is the stat that you use to use your force powers?
This is a hard question because I don't think that Kana would use her daring, because that's not it would be the most advantageous, but I think she works with spirit to go to use yes, spirit. Sure. It is.
Let's have you roll with a spirit then.
Yes. So it's +1. Oh.
So I think you leap in, and it is at that moment when you leap in that we get the classic Star Wars tentacles come out of the water. They were going to grab for her, but now you and her are both grabbed by this thing, and it starts pulling the both of you down into the water. You hadn't expected that. You thought you were just jumping to rescue them, but they are starting to drown you. We don't actually, all we see is the tentacles. We don't know what this beast is, of course. Aspar, Stormtroopers are taken care of. You look over, you see Kana leap in to save this prisoner, and then this flurry of tentacles.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to try to get Kana and like the other person down from the tentacle. I think I'm going to try to cut the tentacle with my lightsabers.
Yeah, that feels like defy danger when you do that, because you want to do it and not harm the others. Does that seem right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 10.
Tell me what that looks like. Like, how do you, what do we see? I mean, is it one slice? Is it multiple quick slices? What do we see?
Yeah, I think it's multiple quick and like strategic slice that's just the tentacle wrapping around like Kana and the other person's body and like quickly and like I catch it and push them out of the way and then we just run for it, I guess.
Perfect. So you cut them free. I think they're kind of still in the water, but it is less immediately dangerous to them, and it will be easy to get them out now. Does that seem cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's cut back. Well, actually, let's finish this moment with Kakata, and then I'm going to come to Trick. Kakata, we've got one stormtrooper left. We've got 2 people in the water.
I think because of seeing and hearing Aspar's work, I am just going to turn off I'm not going to turn on the blades of this staff, and I'm just going to stab straight towards the throat of the stormtrooper that's close to me, just to
Okay.
kind of make sure this our behind is covered.
I think that is no problem for you to do. Like, he's still startled from your glorious leap last time. So do you kill him?
Yep.
Okay, so whoosh, and drop the stormtrooper there. I think there's a moment, Aspar, when you look up and you see Kakata like cut this guy down. Maybe like how does that make you feel, Aspar?
Were they armed?
He hadn't gotten his pistol out.
Yeah, I think I feel like kind of like I understand why Kata did it, but I'm not entirely sure I approve.
Yeah, little mixed feelings. Okay, that seems fair. Trick. She says, let me go. We can talk again. I can tell you things about what's happening here, what's going on.
Adieu. Yes, we should talk again. But in the end, you will go with me. Because you're too pretty to die for the cause that is already lost.
All right, so you're rejecting her attempt to influence you.
Yeah.
So I think we go to fight.
Sure.
If you want to do that.
I mean, I can try to entice on it if that's possible.
You could try, yeah. That would gain a string on them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to fight her.
Okay.
I can leave her. I can. Come on, I can see that you're not too stupid to not see that this is not already gone, but
Roll with heart.
I'm here for you. Zero. I did not fail. Hey. And
I think that she will say, "You make a tempting offer." And then she leans in for the kiss and turns off the lightsaber. Does that seem fair?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Uh,
I lean back a bit.
But spend so you will
Yeah.
we'll get that. You will also get a string on them. So you have a second one.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, so you won't, because she gave in to desire, so you don't. She chose
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
so what we're going to do here is we will cut back to the base with people here and safe and stuff. But let's take our second break here. Mona, do you have to go now?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So let's take another 5-minute break, and then we will continue on.
Okay.
So I think we do the wipe across in classic Star Wars fashion back to the cavern that we saw before. I think there's you all returning with 2 extra people. I imagine that you have the Sith kind of at least bound with cuffs for the moment, and this prisoner, and you've brought back this box, this sledge with you as well. Now, Kana, you had mentioned wanting to do a essentially a read on this person. So let's have you roll that.
Yes, that's -2 because I'm angry, and +1 because I can use wit. So,
Okay.
yeah, that looks beautiful.
Wow. Boxcars on that right away. So let's look at that move.
So it's
You've
11.
got an 11. You get 2 questions.
Yes, and I think yeah, one thing that I did while we were still in the water was I got her out of her shackles, because I'm that kind of person. If
Okay.
I'm the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and I'm trusting in that way. And during the way back, I tried to talk to her, but I think there she was still a bit under the weather.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are back at our base, at our cave. And one question I want to ask her is, what do you hope to get from your visit to this planet?
Eyes keep going to that box. And it's not the eyes of someone who is looking at it like this is sacred to me, or this is important. This is the eyes of somebody who would like you to give the box so she can go and sell it like she's been planning to do. What's your other question?
The next one is, how could I get you to work with us?
She is a kindred soul to you. She is a mercenary. You've been that way before. You've moved on a bit from it, but that is certainly what drove you, and you'll recognize that glint in her eye as she kind of looks around. Every time she's looking around the area, you can tell she's mentally pricing what it would go for. Does that seem like a fair response?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so Sister Cascada will come out. She will see this captured Sith. She will see, and the woman's name is Arlest. I put that picture for her in the thing. And Sister Cascada will turn to you, Trick, because it seems like you brought Magent back, right? She says, well, that was a choice. You're muted.
Yes, it was my choice. I take full responsibility for it, sister.
Yes, you do. She is in your charge right now.
Thank you, sister.
And Magent goes, oh, yes, thank you, sister. Aspar, let me come to you. You see Kana is talking with this prisoner, the woman that was rescued. You see Cascada and Trick talking about this Knight of Ren that was brought back with you. And you've got this floating coffin thing. What do you want to do? What conditions do you have, Mark, right now, Aspar? Let me ask you that first.
I have angry and insecure.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
Yeah, I think I want to talk to the sis, Alest. I want to ask her, like, what are their plans for Dathomir? Because if they are here, they must have some kind of plan, right?
And so you kind of come up to her and as the sister and Trick are there and start asking her questions. Does this feel more like a role play, or do you want to roll figure out?
Yeah, sure, I can roll figure out.
It's up to you. It's either. Yeah, I'm good either way.
No, I want to
Sure.
I want to try roll with -3.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
Oh, I got a 9.
Got a 9. What is with the boxcars? This is uncool. So you get to, like, as you're asking her,
Yeah.
What are the 2 questions from figure out that you want?
Yeah, obviously. So my first question is, what do you hope to get from Dathomir? Like, why are you here?
She is here because the First Order believe that some of you can be turned and join them. And she's partially here for that reason. And certainly that's foremost in her mind. What's your second question?
Yeah, I guess my second question is, what do you love the most?
She loves power and the freedom that gives her. She's a little like Trick in that she was in the First Order and was looked down on, but once her powers came out and they were dark, she was able to rise up. So that power and control that she has, that she didn't have before, is what she loves most. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah.
And what do you love most?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with like the Star Wars like cliche, like the trope, like I have a Padme, right? Like there's someone I love that I would break the code to protect if I have to.
And she will look at you and she says, do you think the Jedi will ever really let you love? That is not the Jedi way, little Padawan. Hatkata, what are you up to?
I I think with all this going on, I am going to. We don't know what's in the casket yet, do we?
No, you don't.
All right. With all this going on, I am going to, I guess, investigate the casket.
Absolutely. So I think this is going to be deft fingers to pop this lock. Does that feel fine?
Sure, yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I'm just looking on the main move page. Yes. Okay, great. And I'm gonna roll with Death Fingers. I guess I'm gonna roll with Wit.
Actually, I think Grace is
Grace, okay.
deft fingers.
Yes, Death Finger. Okay.
I'm always freaked out when I come to games where now you've got rolls that are set on moves. So
Yeah. Okay, it's Grace. Okay, so I'm at 0, and so whoops. Stop this. Modifier 0. Roll. Come on, 12s. Oh, 9. I'll take it.
okay. So I'll tell you what's going to be in there. I know what's in there.
Okay.
What else would you like to? What would you like to pick from the results there?
The opportunity, a map, a key, or note.
Okay. So you will open this up, and almost immediately you can feel this sense of the force come out of it, and it is not good. And you will see that there is the raiment of a Darth in here, some personal effects. There's that. You can see that there is a scroll that's there. And you'll see a little holocron crystal. Like it's a pyramid. It's one of those ones, it's glowing red. So you know that it is a Sith holocron. And it looks delicious. And then there's the other scroll. Are you going to take anything from here, or are you just going to shut it?
Yeah, I'm gonna slam it shut.
Okay. And I think that kind of as you're kind of conversing with her, with Astera, like you see her go, oh no, don't open that, and you'll see Kakata open this thing and then slam it shut. What do you do, Kana?
Yeah. I really don't care much for those magic trinkets. So I tell Alest, hey, go there and keep them from messing with those things. And
Absolutely. She will stand up and she'll go over to where Kakata is at and say, probably shouldn't open that again.
And I think this makes me aware of the going-ons about these Sith lady.
Yeah, she's over talking with Trick and Aspar.
Yeah, and I think I would like to get either Aspar or Trick away from them. And
okay, who do you want to peel off? Who do you want to talk to? What's your relationship with those two like?
I think that I believe Aspar needs it more, but I really don't feel comfortable talking to Aspar because I feel that there is more danger for me. So I ask Trick to come over to me, and I try. The move I want to try is emotional support. I want to offer them. I want to offer her. I want to offer Trick the opportunity to talk with me and to open up about what. Oh, I've forgotten the name of our Magent. How they feel about it, about the.
Sure. Let's do this. Trick, are you okay with like? Okay, you're muted. You're muted, Tad.
Why do I keep forgetting this?
I had it one of the games this week. I could not remember to unmute.
Yeah. So yeah, I will just leave. Don't do anything crazy without me, girls.
No.
And
no.
yeah,
I'll just sit here talking to this Jedi.
Yeah.
And so Kana kind of takes you off to the side to speak with you, Trick. Before we go to any kind of role, like what are you saying to Trick?
Hey, Trick. I left you alone there in this marshland to deal with this woman. Is everything okay? Those people can get to you in different ways.
Yeah, I'm aware how this works. Been through this. You don't have to worry. Look, she's a lot like me, you know. She grew up, you know, taking orders, doing what she's told, and trying to get ahead by climbing at least a little bit, because that's the only way you can be even a little bit yourself.
But
I'm sure she can change, you know. I did.
Everyone can change, but sometimes these people who believe in the dark or light side of the Force, they are really single-minded. They really try to get you on one side, and for me, they're I just want to make sure that you are okay and that you keep the upper hand in this struggle with her.
We'll try, but you know, you could be saying same about Aspar. In a sense.
I know, but I don't know if I'm the right person to talk to her. So I
think she's gonna be fine.
I think you all are gonna be fine, but sometimes you need to know that someone else is looking out for you, and I want to say to you that I'm looking out for you, or at least I try to. And
Anna, do you want to roll heart or spirit for this emotional support?
Spirit, because I try to get through this, the force and the dark and light side and the dangers that are in that. Okay. That's a 6.
That is a 6. I think that as you're doing that, you will hear a voice in the back of your head. And you will hear one of the sisters, one of the ghosts go, "She's already tainted. She's talked too long. This is how it begins. She's going to convince you that she is safe. She is not. If you are truly a Night Sister, you will deal with the problem." I'm going to cut there.
Yeah, and I think I know my next move will be
Aspar, you're talking with this Sith. Kana kind of comes over and takes Trick off to do that. But you also see that Kakata opened up that box and then shut it quickly.
Yeah, so I want to talk to Kata, but I have a quick out of character quick setting question. What is the significance of a Sith hologram?
So what it is in the story, these holocrons contained both the personality and soul and knowledge of a Jedi or a Sith. So it potentially has a lot of power, but it's also a dangerously corrupting object.
Okay. Yeah.
It holds secrets that could teach you so much about what it means to be a Jedi.
Or Sith in this case?
Or Sith.
Yeah. So I think I definitely ask Kata like what's wrong? What's inside?
There's a dark holocron and a scroll and Darth robes in there. Just way too much for me.
So that's what they're here for.
Arlest will kind of hold up her hand. She goes, "This was a Darth who came from Dathomir. They were transporting the relics back here. They were hoping to do some things with it. I got in the way. So see, I'm a good guy. I got it out of the hands of them. And if you want it," she'll put her hands on the coffin. "If you want it, we can talk price."
How much would it take for you to get rid of it?
Get rid of it?
Permanently.
Well, what you do with it is your own business, but you could certainly buy it off me, and then you could dispose of it. I'm no mistress of weird magics, so like I wouldn't know the first thing to do about this.
Yeah, I think I shoot a glance at Kata and I was like, what are we to do with this guy, this person?
And if you want to talk with Aspar privately, you can certainly step away from
Sure.
her.
Yeah. I'll grab her arm to just pull her aside.
We are not buying that.
Not fighting, no. Just to answer your question in private.
Yeah, no, I'm saying we are not buying that thing.
Oh, buying it. Yes, I see what you're saying. Yep. I think this what's in this box is incredibly dangerous. And there are so many forces on the Nightsisters in every direction that this is going to be at minimum a temptation, at maximum an order destroying disaster.
Yes, I agree. How can we destroy it?
Yeah, I think we need to destroy it. I don't know if we need to pay for it. This person's almost kind of in our custody. Do we have the weapons here that could destroy this? Or is there something on the planet that we'd have to take it to? Do you know, Aspar?
I don't, but I think Mistress Kataka might. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
let's
think she
see if we
wants
can
it.
catch her.
She doesn't want it here any more than we do, right?
Yeah, I think we should try to get as many. Oh, I don't know. It's always dangerous when you get too many sisters together and these decisions take on a committee quality. Let us let's at least get Sister Cascada to talk to her.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it would be wise to let more people know about this.
Right. Agreed.
So let me pause that there. Let me come back and check with Trick.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back with you two with Cascada.
Yep.
So Trick, you have this conversation and you are muted with Kana, and she seems distracted at the end.
Yeah.
And you will see that Majan is just kind of sitting, has sat down. A number of the Nightsisters are looking at her because she's this exciting, sexy Sith that you've brought in your midst, and like trying to figure out what do you want to do?
Huh. Well, you know what? I will show everybody that that there's nothing to look up to, and that the Nightsisters are superior to the Knights of Ren. By the one way I know.
Which is?
Defeat in combat.
You want to let her loose and give her a lightsaber?
Yeah. I sure we have like a dueling place or something here.
You do.
Hey, come with me.
Whatever you say.
Let me show us what you're made of. And then I guess maybe a little bit to her dismay, I just lead her to the arena.
And the Nightsisters like will start to follow. Kana, you see this. there. And she's standing there, and you take the shackles off of her.
Yeah, and I hand her back her lightsaber. Don't do anything stupid. There's enough people around you. I hope you understand that.
I do.
Wow.
What do you do?
Well, and then I engage in a
You light up your
lightsaber fighting. Yeah.
She looks at you, and she sets the lightsaber on the ground. And she says, "Strike me down, if that is what you wish to do."
Oh shit.
And everyone is
Yeah.
looking at you now.
Well, yeah, I think I will finally act according with my tradition. For one moment, and yes, I won't strike her down with like lightsaber, but yeah, I will force push her down and then put a lightsaber to her throat.
And she'll look up at you, and she says, "Do it." Give in to your anger.
Yeah.
Tell yourself that this is the righteous thing to do.
I will, bow down a little bit to her to whisper, "You're so wrong, Magenta. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed." And I shut down my lightsaber.
Zoom. I need to check in with Kana, and then I want to come back to Aspar and Kakata. Kana, you see this,
Yeah.
and you see Trick turn off his lightsaber and step away.
Yeah, I was just a second. At first, I really thought, oh my God, the voice in my head is right. Trick tries to ally with this, and then it was like, oh no, I was right. All this dark side nonsense again. And then I think, oh my God, maybe I wasn't right, but who is right in this? This is, I definitely don't know what's going on here.
So let's have you roll inner conflict here.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
kind of see where this
Most
goes.
definitely.
What do you want to roll that with? And
yeah, I wish that I could just go there and fight. I can understand why Trick tried it in the beginning, because it's so much easier to resolve something just with a sword in your hand. But
yeah, think about that.
Yeah.
I want to do the Aspar Kakata while we
Yeah.
see that, like that camera hanging on you for a moment. You two of you will go, and the sister will she will say, "What is the matter? You two seem troubled."
Sister, did you see what was in this box when I opened it?
No. What is it?
This is full of dark side items. This Sith cloak and holocron and some other parchment and things in there. It's all dark side items. I think we need to destroy this as soon as possible.
And what do you say, Aspar?
Obviously, I agree, Mistress Cascara. This hologram is greatly dangerous. Anyone could have activated and get knowledge that no person should have.
And you will see Cathcart, like, she opens the box to look and see. And I think there is that bit where you see her look at it, and I think you can hear the whispers of the ghosts there. And she holds it forward like a moment too long. Like, how do you help her make that choice, Kakata? She's got it open. She's looking down at it. You can see her insecurity about taking over, the power this represents.
Yeah, I'm gonna step up beside her, put one hand on one of her hands on the thing, and try to like put my body against the thing, so I'm sort of coming face to face, putting myself as close as I can to face with her, and just looking in her eyes, and I'll just give her a no.
Absolutely. And Aspar, I think this is the first time you've actually seen it. You see Kakata's attention on Sister Cast, the sister there, and Aspar, you hear this thing whisper to you. August, there is so much you could do in this universe if you just let yourself go. How do you react?
Yeah, I think I draw my lightsaber and I say, "Are you going to destroy that thing, or should I?"
And I think it's that flash of the lightsaber and Kakata at the hand on the shoulder, like, and she will slam it shut. And she says, "You are right. This must be destroyed." Let me cut back to Kana. What do you want to roll that inner conflict with?
With heart,
Okay.
because that's the only one that makes sense. And a 9.
A 9. So you have a choice. You can, like, the moment is there, you could cut this person down. Do you want to stop yourself by walking away, by marking a condition, by overreacting?
I think I overreact. And the overreaction is that I want to fight. I want to fight someone here. And I don't want to fight Trick. And yeah, that leaves Margent. So I just break up the group around her and attack her. But just with my bare hands. I'm not fighting with anything else.
She won't fight you. You grab her, you punch her, you strike
Yes.
her across the face multiple times, and she looks at you and she says, "Again." and she leans forward.
I feel so frustrated.
Trick, what do? You see that Kana is kind of snapped here. You're muted.
Yeah, you know, I'm just gonna go all in. I will just look menacingly at both, well, at mostly Kana. Stop it. You're just giving her what she wants. She wants your anger. She wants to feed on it. She wants you to get lost in it. And I'm not gonna let you.
I'm not angry. I'm just I need to get lost. I need to do something with my energy. I am.
Trick,
Yes.
are you spending a string to try and get Kana to stop?
Yeah, or I could use Hear Me, which is my playbook move. No, I can't. I guess that doesn't fit on the second read. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a string. Do I have a string or Kana even?
I think you do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then I will like throw her handcuffs at Magenta. Bind yourself. If you want to fight someone, Kana, I'm here. If you need that.
Kana, do you stop like Trick, your colleague?
You need that. Okay.
Yeah. Immediately. That's what I want. A fight with someone just to get all this frustration out of my body, just to a clean, good fight with someone who is a worthy opponent. And I declare now, I'm smitten with Trick. It was just the right thing to do. It was to get to me, not only to get me out of this situation, but yeah, you have the string back because you get one on me now.
Yeah.
And yeah, you showed me that you understand me, that you get me on a really deep level.
And I think Sister Cascada comes over and says, "This is enough. There are malign influences here. We need to deal with those before you can do this."
Don't you dare take this fight against Trick from me. Don't you dare.
You can do this later. This is a matter for all of us now, not just your ego.
I look at you. Hey, I will be here when it's all done. Don't worry.
Okay, and then I have to answer a question again. The question, the truth of heart and blade.
So,
or in my case, you could choose one of the scars or victories questions.
yeah. Which one do you want there? because I think we're kind of rolling into maybe a little epilogue here. So I'm
Yeah.
like let's I imagine that we're going to answer that question, but I imagine that there is a scene we see of the sisterhood gathered and joining their energies to destroy these items, to shatter the holocron, to burn everything, and all together. But there is this question hanging there. So, Kana, for your epilogue, what question are you answering? What are you telling us?
My answer. I had one defeat in particular that still lingers with me. And it was a situation a bit like this. I lost control. I just wanted to get it out of my system, and I provoked someone who I cared for deeply at the time and made them to fight me. And not only did they defeat me, they left me after that.
Nice. I think we kind of get the flashback scene to that. Everything is positioned very much like the shots we saw of you and Trick, everything there, and we see that. Trick, what is your epilogue for this episode?
Good question.
You want me to come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Aspar, what about you? In the aftermath of this, they did destroy the thing as you asked. The sisterhood came together for that. What is your epilogue, either here in the immediate moment or down the road?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a scene where like I was on, what are they called? Like the video call scene they have in Star Wars, like with my master at like the order, and I was like filling them in about like what happened, and they were like, oh yeah, you did well. That thing is too dangerous to like to let, and like the sisters are wise to destroy it, and I think I was asking after like the person I'm in love with, and my master was saying, and they were saying like, you know better than to have attachments, don't you? And I was like, of course. And then I think like I think like we cut back to like my room, and I think like somewhere like under my bed I hid the scroll, because I was like, just looking at it wouldn't hurt, right? Like I don't have to use it.
Absolutely. I think we'll see you open it up and there is a map.
Yeah.
Katkata, what is your epilogue?
For Kakata, all of this just connection and closeness with all of these people working together, solving problems together, or even just agreeing on things is pretty overwhelming for someone who fears closeness.
Mm-hmm.
So Kakata's final scene is her in the marsh, just working it like crazy. She is running and jumping and batoning and cutting things, and you just see her going to the point of hardly being able to breathe, like completely huffing and puffing, and she just stops at that point, sits down and meditates.
Yeah. In the kind of the path of destruction that you've led, and then sit down at the end of that. Camera pulls back. Trick, What about you?
Yeah, I think we start with a short flashback to Trick's to my time in the First Order, talking with some of my soldiers about a prisoner we have. And there's a situation. They know where we are. If we let them go, they will tell the resistance we are fighting where we are. We can't really keep them here forever. And then so that is an obvious choice what to do here. And we see Drake enter the room. We've closed the door, and then we hear gunshot. And we get to the present time. Drake standing in front of other door, thinking. And then she tries to open the door, but can't really go in. And then she just sits on the ground next to the door, and we see one tear going down. He's just staring.
Perfect. That's our episode. That's our one shot for today. Thank you all very much. I would like to do a quick go around of stars, things that you dug, particularly about other people's play, things like that, just to kind of leave on a nice rosy note. Kana, anything you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I love the fast pace of our game today. How much happened in such a short time. That was really fun. And Kana might be easy to frustrate, but I was never frustrated.
Oh, good. It's a really interesting character. I really love what you were doing with it. The dimensions of it were really striking, really good. Trick, anything you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I loved, GMing characters. If the one moment in particular, it was the fight when Magenta went I'm not gonna fight either of you, and it's just the frustratingly taking any reactions from us that what we will do about it. That was such a classical Star Wars move, but it fit it right into place. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was really glad we had somebody who was from the First Order. I thought that was a nice contrast to have, and he played off that well. So that was really strong. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Aspar?
Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to really play with Thirsty Sword Lesbian until now. And this is more unusual because it's a specific setting and with some house rule, but I think it worked out pretty well. We have an interesting cast of character and a situation that let us hit on the the scene where you flirt with your enemy and stuff. So yeah, I think it's cool.
And by the way, I just want to say I'm glad you took a Jedi. That was also a really interesting choice here, and I thought it fit with the Devoted so well. That was a very smart character creation move there.
Yeah, I was going to try to do a Jedi with all the playbook move because I was thinking you can also kind of picture Jedi as a seeker if you focus on the more negative aspect of the
Yeah.
older training.
It would be like Anakin like character or something.
Yeah.
They are fighting against it. Yeah. Makes sense.
It's so good. And then last but not least, Katkata.
Yeah, this was a great session. I appreciate that it was so fast and how great it was. I thought, I mean, a couple of particular highlights. I really like how people embodied their character. There's a lot of differentiation between, you know, all four characters here, and that made it really fun. I think, Tad, in particular, you threw a couple of surprises in there that are things that I wasn't expecting, but that suited your character. So I thought that was really fun. There's a couple times it's like, oh yes, I love where this is going. But I liked the honor, Mona, that you showed with Aspar, and kind of your struggles at the end. I was so caught up in it, that pain and that struggle at the end of it. So kudos to everybody. It was some great role play today.
Awesome. And the Wookiee is a bold choice. Like I was first like, what? But I really liked it, especially your concept of the Wookiee on shipboard and kind of how that shaped her choices. Like that was really good. That fell out. It felt natural, it felt right, and it was dynamite to see. So I really, really liked that.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for this. I hope if you play any of these other Star Wars games this weekend that you have a good time. I am going to stop the recording